And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second series of the broadcast. Welcome back to the 5.4K patch clash number 2. We've returned with another Terran versus Protoss matchup. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Leylands, we have the Finnish Terran player, typically Zerg, but off-racing as Terran. It is Mixu. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Teal Protoss player. We have the Teal Protoss himself representing Born Gosu. It is Greenert. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we settle into our ZvP. Here we go. So we've already gotten a bit of a taste of what's to come in this matchup. We spoke about the warp in and warp gate mechanic, how that has been heavily changed. We did bring up some of the new upgrades here, like the new charge upgrade, or like the new zealots as well, like the, of course, new upgrade for KDA charge, advanced munitions. We'll see how our players will approach this though, as we load into one of the more standard maps, as we load into ley lines. The previous series also just continued to incorporate just newer maps, more experimental maps at times as well, and because of that added an extra layer here to those games. Here we're back to something that we are aware of, something that we're used to, and we'll see how our players will approach this. How will they approach? So for the time being, we are going for an economic tournament. Racks expand here by Mixu, everything looking normal. Likewise, gate type expand out of Greenert as well. So standard openers all around. We spoke about some of the changes to the High Templar, for example, how the duration of the storm now lasts longer, but to compensate for that, of course, it still does the same amount of damage, so it's just less damage over time. Or I guess equivalent damage, but at a lower rate. So it's less punishing, essentially. Storm is less punishing. That most likely is going to factor into this series, potentially. Assuming Greenert does go into Storm. But now they're settling into a 1-1-1. And we spoke about this for SCL, but it is definitely apparent here as well. But now is the time to make tournaments with these patches, with these different mods, with these different game modes as well. Like, now is the time, just because we're in the off season, we're in the off season of StarCraft. Now is when discussion is being had for other game modes or for different changes to the game as well. Now would be the time. Stim is being researched. So really early stim here at a Mixu. Interesting. This is not normal, as typically we'd be going into safety cyclone, safety tank production as well, but just very fast stim out of our Terran player. A little bit more unorthodox here from our Terran, from Mixu. This can be abused, this can be punished with a heavy amount of Blinkstalker aggression, but Greenert is actually going for not a Twilight Council, going for a Robo Opener into a Bay into Colossus. So this is very safe play. What I mean by that is that because there's no Blink inside, because there's no Twilight Council, Greenert, he's not pushing. He's not going to push, he's not really going to apply much pressure whatsoever. He's playing more defensively more than anything. At least until he builds up his Colossus. This is very old school. It's a slower style, a much slower style. Greenert's headed towards his armory as well. Interesting. Armory is on the way. Did I miss something? What happened to these SCVs? Like, nothing died. Did he? What? What happened? Why are they all almost dead? Did like a mine shot go off? So far, 4 mines going down. Remember, armory is done, which means cloak is required. Oof. 2 mines left. 2 mines left. Observers on the way. this will be cleaned up. So again, now there's more. Now, yeah, I would say now there's more incentive in going for a robo opener for builds like this. True. But yeah, what happened here? Like, why is everything almost dead? Like, what? Oh, hallucination. Of course. Okay. Like in my mind, I was trying to go through what it could have been, but it looks like there was a hallucination scat, which caused some friendly fire. Okay. It's like, well, I was like, what the hell? But yeah, true. Once with the reintroduction of something like an armory, does mean that robos are a little bit more necessary early on before your third base. I mean, when it comes to the meta of PvT, we're already getting robos before third bases. Like going 3-gate blink robo is very common and very standard. It would just make it even more common and more standard. It's already a rare sight to see a Protoss player delay their robo in this matchup. As Colossus are on the way. Liberator, let's move out. And a big shout out to Sound Sound in the chat, man. God. Thank you so much for subscribing for 57 months. That's a lot of months, man. That's a lot of months. Thank you. Como siempre. Twitch Prime. Something that we didn't get to touch on here is that charge has also been changed quite a bit in this patch. Not just the new upgrade on top of charge to add shields whenever a unit does charge successfully, but here also charge is can now be targeted on the ground. Doesn't have to be targeted on the unit, and that means that you can charge preemptively. It also means that you can charge defensively. You can charge away from your opponents as they're chasing you down. So charge is now a lot more. There's a lot more skill that can be expressed, I would say, with charge. Because you can charge in, you can charge away. On top of that, I believe Zealots have 10 more shields than previously. We'll see if Greenert make use of it. As so far, the game has been pretty passive. Sure, we had the Mind Drop, but I mean, we spoke about it, right? Because of the robo-based opener, this was a more defensive build here by Greenert, and he has been more defensive. Ideally, he wants to be engaging with his opponent. Ideally, he wants Mixu to be hyper-aggressive into him, but Mixu has also been quite passive as well. Getting his third base up and running, taking up into gross production as well, so we're kind of like no rush, 10 minutes. Building up. Oh, Mixu may be the first to move out. Charge system behavior, is it like a potential patch change proposal that they're playing on? Kind of. I don't know if I would say this is a new proposal, but this is a new mod that features a bunch of changes, and yeah, we're kind of, you know, testing it out. But there's a bunch of changes, Jesus. That's Greenert, he does rotate. Tank is in position. A little bit further back so we can shell away here after the depots. At the same time across the map, the Liberators have arrived. 9 pro kills in total. Not bad. Mixu, he is holding on. So not losing any workers. He's getting ready for his own dive. And Greenert will pull away. And pulls away, gets the hell out of here. Does pull back, getting into Storm. Now, once again, just to reiterate, we spoke about the DTs. DTs work very differently here. Dark Templar, they do require full shields to be able to cloak. If at any moment they take damage, then they can no longer cloak. Speaking of, we do have an upgrade on the way. I think it's a DT base. I don't know what that upgrade is. Hold on. Looking it up. Move in. Does run past some of the mines. Ooh, mines going up. Jeez, but that's how many. We have 5 Colossus. Oh my god. Who needs Storm? EMPs do connect on the High Templar. No Storms, but there are just so many Colossus. But there's no support. There's no support for the Colossus. The Vikings, where's the anti-air? There is none. Yeah, no anti-air. 1 Colossus goes down. 2, 3 Colossus fall. The Vikings, they go to town. And with that, Mixu does hold on. Oh, Mixu holds on across him. He snipes the Colossus. Colossus goes down. There's 1 Colossus left. Mixu going for the dive. Oof. And Greenert, he's hurting. That was his moment. That was his moment. That was his time to try to end the game then and there. But again, he ran out of anti-air, ran out of stalkers. Racing on over. Tachyon emitters. Oh, that's a stalker upgrade. Okay, interesting. Increases stalker range by 1. Oh my god. What are they, Dragoons? As Justin landed Viking Harassing on the right hand side. 7 probes going down. At the same time, this time Storm is done. Storm is ready. Here come the EMPs. Oh. Feedback 1. Feedbacks all it goes, not bad. But the mind shots are, oh god, no! The Zelts are clumping. Wouldn't mind to do punish. For those that are curious, this upgrade here, it's a shield charge upgrade. Basically, with this upgrade completing, it means that Zelts, whenever they charge in, whenever they successfully charge and hit a unit, they will regenerate shields. So it does give Zealots more longevity, it does give them more sustain. It's honestly a pretty big upgrade. Oh no, for the Widow Mines, oh god. The Widow Mines, they reset. Just rotating over the right hand side. There it is, a kinetic resurgence. There you go. I believe it's 20 shields with a successful charge. It's going up. Yeah, these Widow Mines have been so annoying. There we go, the observers are now repositioning. Mixu catching up the army. Storms have yet to really be too impactful in this game so far. Greenert is keeping up with the drop. Greenert's keeping up. Widow Mines are still resetting. Finally, some of them are going to be going down. Finally. With the fusion core on the way. Oh god, as we are standing in the storms. Storms do pop up. EMP does graze the High Templar. With Greenert bouncing back. Greenert keeps holding on. Mixu, he hasn't really embraced any of the newer upgrades, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's been playing this relatively standard. Like there's like a new Viking upgrade that we can delve into, which I don't think it would be too useful here, but there's 1, 2, 3 Vikings that'll be going down. The Biocons are behind, gets 1. The Colossus gets 1. Just the 1. But the others are so low. Vikings, they can just dive in. There's not enough anti-air, and once again the Colossus count gets completely reset. Losing every Colossus. Ay, ay, ay. Mixu will reinforce, and Greenert, once again the Colossus count was reset. He's lost 8 Colossus so far in this game. That's insane. Hang in there. Does Mixu play a lot of Terran? Yeah. I mean, he plays Terran when he plays StarCraft Illusion, right? When he plays SC Evo, I believe he also whips out his Terran. I think he plays Brood War Terran instead of Brood War Zerg, if I'm not mistaken. Collapsing in the army at the same time, does have a force here to defend back at home. He's holding on. Still popping up. Blood harass is attempted. Let's get into the mineral lines at the same time. Mixu does commit in. But he's pushing into 4 Colossus. Oh god. And with that, the light count's being reset. Greenert, he holds. He holds at home across the Zelda, still wreaking havoc. 12 SCV kills. Nice run by. Hold on, I'm quickly checking it. Has there been any changes to the Colossus I should be made aware of? No. Colossus was untouched in this patch. Okay. Just double checking. For a lot of units, I said that like this patch does introduce a lot of different upgrades. That's true, but a lot of the base units have been adjusted as well. So I was just double checking that that wasn't the case for the Colossus. It's a pretty extensive patch list. Patch notes. So Mixu once again will punish. There's just not really much anti-air here for Greenert. Once again, his army is lacking. Right, these have been some expensive losses over time. We were bringing it up earlier, but so far 10 Colossus have gone down. Greener's had a really hard time preserving his Colossus, so he's had to rebuild them, which means his ground army, his supportive army, is lackluster. Just doesn't really have much to support his army. His economy is okay, but again, like the army just has not built up over time. And Mixu's maxed. Mixu's maxed out. Snipe popping up. True, that's another big change actually, is that snipe is no longer cancelled when a ghost gets hit. So previously you could cancel snipe, and now you can no longer. But the leash range is shorter. True. So you can break the snipe by moving away a little bit easier. But the snipe no longer gets interrupted, which is crazy. It's crazy. Likewise, the ghost also has, I think it's 10 less HP, has a little bit less HP, has less leash range. Oh shit, I think the leash range is pretty important when it comes to trying to like pull away from a ghost-based army. As Greenert, he's going to get fully surrounded. He's going far too into enemy territory. He gets fully surrounded. Colossus goes down. The army goes down, and that was it. That was the army for Greenert. He doesn't really have much left. Again, we spoke earlier how he's been struggling to preserve his army, and here as well. Just fully surrounded, completely shut down, and Greenert, he plummets in supply. He doesn't really have much remaining. Does have a standing army here on the right-hand side, but towards the left, there's nothing in position. Liberators do siege, and Mixu is going for the kill. Going for the kill, going for the throat. And he can tank some storms. And GG gets called with that. And Mixu takes game number 1. GG. Mixu does take a lead in the series. Impressive start here from our Terran player. Again, Mixu, he's known for mainly competing as Zerg, but he does play Terran from time to time, and clearly in a good place with that. He didn't really delve too much when it comes to some of the more quirky or niche upgrades here and there, but instead just played more straight up. We saw that Greenert was playing very Colossus heavy, but as you mentioned, he was losing so many throughout the course of that game. He never really built up. There was a moment where he had 5 Colossus, true, but he had no support. He had no ground army to keep and sustain that Colossus force when it comes to anti-air and even Zealots as well. So the army never quite got there for Greenert. GG. GG well played. Now we're getting into game number 2. Game 2 is going to be on Pylon, and we'll see if Greenert can recover. We'll see if Mixu can close it out. As it looks like the initial rounds are wrapping up. The first round has concluded, and the first round of the low bracket also concluding as well. So it's concluding. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pylon. We have the finish, typically Zerg, but here Terran player leading the series 1-0. And we'll see if he can claim it here and now. We'll see if he can advance on to the quarterfinals. It is Mixu. Sorry, to the semifinals here. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the teal Protoss player. The teal Protoss representing Born Gosu. It is Greenert. Go. Oh, hello. As Mixu is going to be opening up 2x Reaper. This becomes even more deadly now. We can open up we can go 3x Reaper, and we can follow this up with the upgrade as well. Wait, hold on. There's a lot going on right now. 2x Reaper is a rare sight against Protoss in such a manner here, so really curious to see how this all does unfold. Again, because of the new Reaper upgrade, I believe it's locked behind some tech though. We'll quickly double check. Requires a factory, that's it. So the new upgrade does require a factory to actually start researching, not just a tech lab. So there's a little bit further tech behind this, but we could try to open up double Reaper and then go for the factory behind this and then get into the upgrade and try to overwhelm a Protoss player. Again, I do feel like this build probably works best against Protoss just because of the damage you can deal to the shield battery or the damage you can deal to the pylon. Protoss are quite heavily reliant on the shield battery early on to defend, to hold, so if you can find a way to break through that, you can maybe pop off. We'll see. You have my attention. Go. Reaper's moving out. Tech Lab's on the way. Now, does he realize that he needs the factory? I think, because I believe this Tech Lab is to get into the new KDA charge upgrade. But remember, you need the factory to actually start that upgrade. Reaper breaks in. Oh no, never mind. Okay, switching into bio. Never mind. He knows what he's doing. Okay. So we opened 2 ranks Reaper initially, only 2 Reapers, then into a really fast switch into bio, going into concussive shell. Interesting. Greener, he does spot this. Spot this, does recall in time. We'll save the Stalker. And unfortunately, I would say that Mixu's already revealed his hand. Typically, when you're going to fast concussive shell like this, you're hoping to try to cash out a unit early on, but Greener, he already scattered, he already saw the upgrade, he saw the Marauder, he recalled, he knows that he's in danger, and Greener, he should be staying more defensively back at home instead. So I don't really see Mixu getting much done here. We already have the shield battery, and soon to be a sentry as well. We'll have force fields. Moving out, going for the sentry. Sentry goes down. Nice snipe. Without that sentry, yeah, now going for the shield battery. Shield battery also goes down. Greenert, he is in danger. He's in trouble. Oof. Losing another Stalker. Boys are being pulled. Greenert getting desperate. And Greenert, he will hold here, but he will lose a lot of workers. So 5 probes going down. Greenert taking up into a dark shrine behind this. Okay. Okay, sure. Let's go. And Stim is almost done. Just need to wait a little bit longer here. Boys up full to repair. 2 SCVs. Losing up to 4, losing up to 5. 5 workers going down. Mixu's economy here is struggling. Again, no safety bunker, so there was no, there was nothing to protect set SCVs. Nothing to zone away. Stim is now done.
Game paused.
Oh, hopefully everything's okay. I didn't even notice. we're just playing at a standard game. Okay. I like how it took until now for them to realize. I guess they tried. I guess we attempted to get an upgrade here, or maybe we just warped in. God damn it. Okay. Never mind. God damn it. Yeah, either Greenert, he just warped in out of range of a gateway and noticed that he had shields, or he tried to get an upgrade and it was like, hold up, something's wrong. To be fair, I didn't notice either. I mean, nothing so far like came into play that required the mod. Scan reveals the Dark Shrine. It's fine, we can pretend, Pat. We can pretend. God damn it. See, this is where I would have loved to have seen Mixu have gone for the factory at the beginning of the game and then realized and be like, hold up. we're not on the mod and I'm set up to rush into Mass Reaper. Oh god. But this is going to be a brutal timing here. Stim is done, +1 is finishing up as well for Mixu. He is moving out across the map. Greenert back at home. Because of his build of choice, doesn't really have much to work with. We have the first Colossus on the way. He has Blink, that is true, but there's no Forge working towards charge. It takes a while to really get into this. And here comes Mixu, especially on Pylon. Mixu is here to punish and here to maybe just end the game. A couple of boys are being pulled. The army gets spotted. Do we have any force fields? The answer is yes. We do have some sentries. But he just hallucinated. Yeah, Dust hallucinates. Stim's on in, going for the kill, and there's nothing to hold on here. There is no army. GG gets called. Mixu will claim the series 2-0 and advance on to the next round. GG. GG, well played with that. Mixu, he will claim the series. Congratulations, and we'll do a better job at making sure that we're actually loading into the mod. God damn it. But GG, well played. Mixu will claim the series, and meanwhile, Greenert is going to be knocked down to the lower bracket. And let's catch up. Let's catch up on the bracket itself.